All right, welcome hackers. Our inaugural meeting at the Des Moines Social Club. I'm super glad everyone found it. Did anyone go to the wrong spot? Okay, 2 people. We did switch days as well, so obviously it's the second Wednesday instead of the third Thursday, so everyone seemed to manage it. So cool, thanks for coming. All right, so I'm Brandon, and I'm going to do the SecDSM 101. I know that there's a lot of questions, so if you guys have questions about like the venue, just shout it out, interrupt me at any time, it's okay. All right, so tonight's agenda. So we have 2 speakers tonight. We have Benjamin Blakely, who's going to be talking. He's an awesome guy. He's really well known in the community, and he'll be giving a primer on machine learning and the cybersecurity applications of it. And we have Nicole, who will also be presenting. This one's pretty cool. It's, if I'm reading it all right, it's effectively how to introduce 2-factor authentication into your custom web applications. Did I nail that? Yep. Sweet. And then, so that should take us until about 8:30, and then we'll do CTF winners if we have one. And then afterwards, so we have the space until 9, just like what we had at Pillar. And then afterwards, we'll go to Malo if you want to hang out and continue networking. As always, we are rated PG-13, which means that you get 1 F-bomb as a group and 1 incident of brief nudity. Please keep that in mind. We do have law enforcement that comes here, so don't be an idiot. Don't talk about the idiot things that you might have done that will get you in trouble. Those are good ideas. We do have a formal code of conduct. The entire details are available on our website. The link's up there. And more or less, be cool to one another. If you have problems, let me or anyone else on the board know. This is a fundamental concept that we like to have, is challenge ideas, not people. So I'm a big believer that I can have a disagreement with you, and you and I can come to a better situation than what we came into the disagreement with. And I'm not going to dislike you as a person. We might even formally, like agree to disagree kind of a thing, but that doesn't bother me in your personal relationship kind of a thing. So don't be, don't challenge the people. It's not them, right? If you have an idea, something you want to see, something that needs improvement, something bothering you, let us know. These are your board. This is the board, I guess, for SecDSM. And yep, there's that. We also have volunteers. So we have James, who helps out with our news, and Jared, who helps out with our AV as our AV lead. We've also got Kenny, who I don't have a picture of yet to put up there. We've also got other volunteers that help us out with the CTF all the time. The board's really involved, and we're always looking for additional help as well. And so if this is something that you feel like you want to give back into and kind of contribute to the community, our #1 need is for speakers every month. It's a challenge. And so don't think that the bar is too high. I've given plenty of talks that weren't the coolest subject ever, but that people found value in. And so we've even got little introductory talks that are geared towards 10, 15-minute talks. They're called tool talks. And they're designed for just to share something that you learned over the past week, over the past month, whatever. That's kind of cool. Doesn't really have to be a big in-depth thing. You don't have to know everything about the topic. It's quite okay. We've also got workshops that we want to do. Our biggest need there is for trainers, for people that want to give a workshop as a trainer. So there's that. So if you go to workshops.secdsm.org, I think, or there's a link, you can actually submit your idea for a workshop. And that's something that we want to work on to bring back to the community, to provide those workshops for free to our members or at a very low price. And we always need money. Aaron will get into the financials here in a little bit, but our needs for money are growing, actually, and we'll explain that in a little bit. So transparency. So the space is this awesome space for what it's worth. It's a little different tonight than what it will be normally. Some growing and adjustment pains, if you will. But we will normally have 2, at least, I'm holding up 3 fingers, but we'll have at least 2 spaces every night. Every meeting. One that is designed, so this will always be kind of where the presentations happen, and then we'll have another room somewhere on the campus that will be geared towards if you're doing the CTF and you want to sit down and get out of the presentation area, or if you want to network, that would be a great spot for you to go to as well. It's very possible that when the weather is nice, we'll also have the roof on this floor or in this building, which is an awesome view of the downtown area. It's only 3 stories, but it's a different perspective of the world. And so that's pretty cool. So it's possible that we'll actually have 3 spaces going during our meetings when the weather's nice. So should be good, and it should. One of the problems that we had at Pillar was the noise, right? So we wanted people to allow them to network, but we also have presentations going on. So we tried to address that at Pillar. Yeah, it worked okay, but we were still having to yell at people, and so we're hoping that we can avoid that by having dedicated spaces for that. So that's a space. It does cost us $200 a meeting for the space. It's actually not very much at all given what we're getting, and that's pretty cool. So we used to provide drinks, or beer I should say, and soda, and now that's on you. So that does come with a venue change, so there will always be a cash bar, it will always be bartended, and you're more than welcome to get whatever you'd like from there. Our sponsor for this meeting is ISSA, and they were very gracious in sponsoring our meetings. Without them and our other sponsors, these things don't happen. It costs us money to meet. And so I'll have Aaron come up and talk about what's in the bank and where our money went and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Aaron.
Yep. Good evening. Whoa, a little too close, Brandon. So, financial transparency. So as Brandon said, our financial model has changed a little bit. We did prepay for this space for a year, so it's $200 a meeting, which is the $2,400 expense we had. Ooh, line item number, math is hard. I didn't type it up there, even though, three, I can't, my eyes are bad. That's all I'm saying. We are in a good spot financially, but we do have that $2,400 expense. Food for the, February and March meetings, we had to reimburse some people, was $500 and some dollars. We did buy merch for speakers, $138.57. Last month, I don't know if we really publicized it, but we paid for WISP.org, so Women in Information Security, I believe is what it stands for, has a DEF CON sponsorship. So SecDSM took $900, and we're paying for a Woman in Information Security to go to DEF CON with, I think it's a $500 stipend, which is awesome. It's really awesome we could do that, but that's on there. And then we had cash in. We had a sponsor sign up, which was $400, $475 and some change, and then we had a $750 check come in from principal and donations there. So if you have any questions on specifics, hit me up. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. All right. So the mini CTF, I know a lot of people come here just to play the mini CTF. And so there's your URL for that. We'll also get that on the Twitters. And please don't break the CTF. Just play nicely, I guess. I don't know. So that was actually, so what's normally done with our CTF is that when you win it one month, then you make a CTF for the next month. And so Aaron Teacup actually won last month, so he made this month's. And ISSA has sponsored the prize for that, so the winner will get actually a pretty decent prize, the valued at $300. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's see what else we got. AV stuff, so like the rig is sponsored by these 3 local companies, which is awesome. In fact, a year ago this month, these guys signed up to help us with our live streaming and all the AV equipment, and so these companies deserve a thank you for that. Let's see, Slack. If you're not on our Slack, it's kind of doubtful because you all are here, and that was our predominant method of talking about where we were meeting. But if you're not on there, you go to SecDSM.org, you scroll up, you scroll down. There's 535 people on our Slack right now, which is pretty awesome. It's continually growing. I don't think anybody has removed the registration ever. That number's never gone down, so that's kind of a good sign. If I was a business, this is continual growth for about 8 quarters now. And so anyway, there's a really good community where you can bounce ideas off of, or something that you're struggling with. Yesterday, I think I asked about how to make my back and forward buttons work inside of a VM that wasn't working, and I got help. So local conferences, regional conferences that are coming up, I guess there's a couple that aren't too regional. So we're already 2 conferences into the season. We had KernelCon last weekend. We've got CypherCon going this weekend. And there was another one. It's DakotaCon, actually. So the con season is definitely here. Within one of these within each of these conferences, someone from SecDSM will be there, so you will be with friends. Arden, yeah, I'm surprised you're here. Arden is speaking. We actually have 2 people that are speaking at CypherCon this weekend that are members. So pretty cool. B-Sides Iowa's coming up. If you're here, you should also be at B-Sides Iowa. Check out bsidesiowa.com, I think, for tickets and information, schedule, all of that. I think that we've got like 8 members that are speaking there. It's pretty awesome, and we'll have SecDSM is running the CTF, so you should definitely go. And then you got B-Sides KC. Anyway, there's a lot of conferences. The ones that have stars next to them, though, are special. And they're special because SecDSM has a black badge or an Uber badge to that conference, which means that one of you can get in for free to that conference. We will pay effectively for your ticket to get into that conference. So we, as a community, we often compete in CTFs, and when we win an Uber badge or a black badge that gets us entry for life to that conference, that badge doesn't belong to the individuals on that team, it belongs to SecDSM. So this is our way of giving that back to the community, and we like to send people to conferences. So in fact, Circle CityCon, it's my high recommendation. If you've never been to a security conference before, go to Circle CityCon, and I think we've got at least 2 Uber badges for that, because I know one was broke, and I don't think that it's been replaced yet. So what else do we got? Hobbies. I'll have James come up, and he's going to cover hobbies and like little get-togethers that we do outside of our meetings, and news, some jobs, all that kind of stuff.
Did we get the Wi-Fi password yet?
Wi-Fi password? No.
I got it.
You got it? You're not allowed to have it. If you're competing with the CTF, it was like bring your own Wi-Fi. I'm kidding.
Okay. I'm in. Good guess the password.
All right, so first off, I think Ben said he threw it out there in the general channel. Yep. And so the Wi-Fi password is capital F, Firehouse. So Firehouse is the public one. Yep. All right, so for the Hobbies channel, hasn't been too busy lately because I think we've all been swamped with holidays and, nope, that's fine. Let me take it, lean into it. Yeah, I can't look at the screen. And so the Hobbies channel hasn't been extremely active lately, but as we get into good weather, we'll start kicking a few things off. So the new Hellboy, I think, comes out this weekend, so if there's any interest in a group event to go see that in the next couple weeks, go ahead and jump out on the Hobbies channel. If it works out, we'll get something planned and I'll actually get something official. And then it's been a while because it's been wintertime, but we have outdoor ranges here in Des Moines. Big one is there's 2 DNR ranges in Des Moines. Butch Olafson is the one north of Polk City, aka north of Saylorville Lake. And so it looked like the first weekend that was going to be nice that would work for everybody would be Sunday, May 12th. So we're going to go on May 12th and go out to the range at 10:30 in the morning on Sunday. And then let me jump into the news real quick. So the first news story, this isn't specifically security related, but it was actually kind of entertaining and I could come up with funny gifs for it. So Tesla has their automated driving system, and a couple of researchers figured out, like if you've seen in the past, there was some research done on artificial intelligence that they were able to fool systems that could detect stop signs by putting Post-it notes on them. A few researchers got a Tesla, turned on the auto drive system, and then painted a few lines on the road and got the Tesla to drive into oncoming traffic. The next one in the duh category, we all joke about hacking our grades. It's been a theme in movies since the 80s, and these 2 14-year-old freshmen at the New Jersey Secaucus High School actually used an application to not hack the Wi-Fi, but essentially DDoS the Wi-Fi in their school multiple times as a way to get out of test taking and multiple other activities at school. So it wasn't just a matter of once, it was a matter of several months until they actually got discovered. I think a couple other students reported they were doing it. Next up, in South Korea, a whole team of individuals were detained essentially for secretly recording and live streaming spy cam videos of hotel room guests. They hooked up cameras in 42 different motel rooms at 30 different motels in 10 different cities and actually used little tiny 1mm lensed cameras, and we're hooking them up by the TV box and that type of thing. So if you have any type of signal detecting or, Wi-Fi camera technology, signaling, that type of thing. The next time you go in a hotel room, you might want to check and make sure, as long as you're behaving in the hotel room. And another story, some researchers at Sophos set up some honeypots in 10 of the most popular AWS data center locations, connected into the internet with some config errors, and most noteworthy, just some default general password protected SSH. And in most cases, it took under a minute for attackers to start actually getting the systems. And I think the longest one was 52 minutes. So if you set up a instance on AWS and you don't secure it before you turn it onto the internet, or if you're running cloud infrastructure, you should probably check and make sure you don't have default SSH grids. And then in the lovely government scenario we have going on here, Mar-a-Lago, where, the resort our president owns and hangs out at way too often, a supposed agent for, I believe we're looking at the Chinese at this point. It was discovered that she snuck her way in by claiming she could not speak English and got past the front desk staff. Another front desk staff member, or one of the people, actually caught her. She was intercepted and had several devices on her, including one of a thumb drive that actually had some executable malware on it that would just run when the drive was plugged in. They actually released some more notes on her arrest record. I think it was today or yesterday, and she actually had multiple SD cards, other USBs, and a laptop, and some signal detecting devices as well. But the best part is the USB drive that she had, the Secret Service agent discovered it had malware on it because he took it back and he plugged it into his own computer. And that was his preliminary forensic examination of the thumb drive to determine that she should be arrested. Yeah, so if you're interested, there's some funny extra humor out there. Chris Weissopel, I think, went out on Twitter when this story first broke and said, yeah, that's what we teach our everyday users, so of course the FBI agent involved would be the one plugging it in. And that's it for stupid stories of the month. Now we do the job section, so we always like to throw this out there. If anyone's looking for a job and wants to come up and put themselves on the firing line, or if anyone's got job openings and they want to come up and talk about them, here's your chance. Going once? Anyone? All right. Here we go. Take turn. Yeah, denied.
You can go ahead, it's fine.
There you are. Just let us know who you are and what the job is.
Yeah, my name is Sun Lee. I work for the city of Waukee, and been working for them for 2 years and rebuilding and re-engineering all the infrastructure. It's time I'm having way too much fun, so I'm looking to expand the department now and hiring a technician. There's pretty much every area of expertise is what I need, so it's open right now, and I posted the link to apply for that the job on our Slack channel in the jobs section. So,
Thank you.
Hey everybody, Brad Rowland from Principal. I have a couple jobs that will soon be open. One is on our threat hunt and detection team. It's a fairly new team for Principal, kind of focus on some email detections and some account takeover. Looking for some experience helping us advance our services there. The other one is on what we call our cyber defense engineering team. It's more traditionally focused around our SIM, our EDR tools, helping those services, providing those services to our investigators, helping out with advanced investigations here and there. So they'll be posting in a couple days. I'll be here for a while. Talk to me, talk to the principal, see what happens.
Cool. Experience level for those, Brett?
So the threat hunt and detect, we're just looking for a couple years, hopefully within that space. We know it's kind of hard to find that, especially in the Des Moines area. The CDE one, we're looking for probably a couple years with the SIM or an EDR tool. Not a whole lot of experience, so I'd say mid-level.
Good. Perfect.
Hello, I'm Michelle Roos, and I am chair of the computer science department at DMAC. And I'm always looking for adjuncts who want to teach C++ and other fun programming languages. We just are starting Python in the fall, too. So down the road, we'll need those programmers as well. So talk to me.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Nope. I think we're good. I'll hand it back over to Brandon to finish up the 101.
Thanks, James, and thanks for everyone for talking about your jobs. All right, so we've already covered what we're talking about this month. We got two presenters this month. But next month, May 8th, that's the second Wednesday. We're going to start doing that second Wednesday thing. We have a talk. It's Intro to Linux File Systems. I'm looking forward to it. And we do have another spot available. So if you go to our website, there's a Submit a Talk button, and you can be up on our schedule. Remember, it's not a high bar. And if you've got an idea, maybe you just need to like flush out the presentation, maybe you've never given a talk before, come talk to me, and we will find somebody to help you take it to where you're comfortable at giving that talk. That's cool, kind of that mentorship. We want you to be able to give back to the community if you want to. So that's what we got, and then we'll take a quick like 6-7 minute break, and then we'll get started with our first talk. Thank you very much, guys.